Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Victoria Ku, and today I'm super happy to be sharing with you our homeschooling journey over the past year. It has been a roller coaster with ups and downs and everything in between. When we made the decision to start homeschooling our children a year ago, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. But as parents, we had our reasons and we also had a lot of doubts. But after weighing the pros and cons of sending our kids to school or homeschooling them, we decided that homeschooling them was going to be the best choice for our family. As we wrap up our first year of homeschooling, I wanted to come here and share with you everything we've learned throughout this journey. And yes, I learned a lot and maybe more than what my kids learned in this journey. So I want to share with you also all the challenges and the joys and the growth we have learned in this whole year. So grab a cup of your favorite drink as I share with you our homeschooling journey. So picture this is our first year of homeschooling, and the first day I am all ready. I have the textbooks, I have the room ready to start homeschooling my children. We have all the material. I have a big plan of what I'm going to be teaching and how I'm going to be teaching to my kids. The biggest mistake I made was to try and mimic a normal day of school with all the schedules and all of that. So I remember that I told my husband that I wanted to send the kids back to school. And yes, I'm ashamed of saying this right now, but I wanted to send my kids back to school on the first week because things were not happening the way I wanted it to happen. And I learned that one of the biggest things, or one of the things you must have as a homeschooling family, is flexibility and adaptability. The number one reason it's so important to be flexible and to adapt is because, first of all, I have four kids. So if you're a mom of multiple kids and you want to homeschool, it's going to be difficult, especially that all of your kids learn the same way and they don't all have the same attention span. So for me, with four kids, one toddler, and the other three in three different grades, which one of them was learning how to write and read, it was very challenging to have them all in the same room and trying to do different lessons or trying to get my kids to focus on what they needed to do. So that was one of our biggest challenges. And I can't help but think that as parents, we put on so much pressure on ourselves and we expect a lot from our kids as well. But I really thank God that everything worked out and that even if it's not what I expected it to be at the beginning of our homeschooling journey, it is what we need and it's just perfect for our family. Just a little parenthesis. One of the reasons I decided to start homeschooling my kids speak languages. So at home, we mainly speak Spanish, and at school, they learn French, and they were supposed to be learning English as well, which they didn't. My biggest concern was one, they were not learning what they needed to learn because classrooms had too many kids for one teacher. My kids were not learning what they needed to learn, and the teachers didn't even really knew or told me that my kids needed that extra help. So, like, I felt that I didn't want to add more like tutoring or more classes after school, which because they were already spending a lot of time at school. So it was 7 hours, and I didn't want to add more into their plate when they were supposed to be learning in that time. So that was one of the reasons. And there were other reasons, obviously, but we also wanted to be able to spend more time with our kids. And to my big surprise, when we started homeschooling, even if it took a little bit more time at the beginning, we made it work. And most of the days, we're able to finish before lunchtime. So this is less than half of the time they were spending learning in school. And I noticed that they don't learn that much time. So if we're able to get them to focus on their lessons, we're able to finish earlier which gives us more free time to do things we actually want to do that we love doing. The truth is that I didn't have big expectations and I didn't know if it was going to work for our family. But one of my biggest fears was that my kids would not see much their friends and that they will resent me for that. But at the beginning, yes, the changes were really hard on them. There was a lot of tension, stress at home. But I made it work so that they could still see their friends. We make sure that we go out with friends with that have kids their age. So when there's a birthday party, they most of the times will be yes, because I know that they will enjoy that time with their children. And that's one of the questions I got a lot, like, how will your kids socialize? Well, to be honest, they are more social now that they're homeschooled because they're with less people and all that. So every time we go somewhere, at the library, at church, or any place, they actually socialize with people, which they were not doing when they were at school. When it comes to curriculums and the teaching approach, I had zero idea on what to do. Like there was so many things on social media and I wanted to do something different for my kids, but at the same time, they did went to school. So I couldn't just make huge changes all at once. So what I decided to do is take all the resources I had from the school board. So I had all the textbooks from the school board. I tried to make like for science, like home experiments and all of that. The biggest challenge I had was that even though I got the textbooks from the school board, I didn't get access to all the answers and the teacher's guide. So I did have all the student guide, but I didn't have anything available to help me as their teacher. So this year, I'm doing things a little bit different. I had to contact the places that give all those resources to the school board. And apparently, the reasons I didn't have access to it is because I have to sign a confidentiality document saying that I cannot share or put any of those answers, resources for teachers on the internet or to share with anyone outside of what I'm doing as a homeschool mom. So this is one of the challenges I had, and that homeschooling is not really big in Canada. So there's not many resources available to us. And because everything is in French and I'm obligated to teach in French to my kids, it was a little bit harder to find what I needed. One of the things I loved about homeschooling is that there's a lot of lessons that we can do and put together. So, for example, if I'm doing a science experiment and there's reading in French and they have to write in French, these classes can be put together. So it counts as two classes, but in reality, we're just doing one. And same goes for math class and all of that. When it comes to classes as science and history, I could do those classes with all of my kids, but it's just what they were learning. The questions and answers that I gave them were different, but we took the same lessons to teach the three of my kids, which was awesome because it helped me save a lot of time. When it comes to the learning space for my kids, I took one of the rooms, which was my studio, which now my studio is in my bedroom. So I had to take all of my things to give my kids more space for their homeschooling journey. So what I did is that they all have their space, but we normally, when we do things together, we're going to go our dining room or we have a table that's foldable. We're going to put everything in there to do like experiments or to do a game or anything like that. So we change all the time. And if my kids don't want to be in one room, I let them do their work or their writing or their reading wherever they want to go. And the other thing that we used a lot was the library. Used to go at the beginning once a week, and then we started going once or twice a week to change books, to get new books, to work in there. So they have a really nice space where we can work. And because all the kids are in school, we basically have the library all to ourselves. So that was one of the things we loved about homeschooling, is that we had the flexibility to go anywhere we wanted and to learn more in different places. We also went to the museums, but this year we didn't do it as much as I wished we would because of all the changes. It was really challenging, and because I have a toddler that still needs to nap. But for the coming year, and yes, we decided that we're going to keep homeschooling. And the changes we're going to do is that we're going to go more often to the museums, and we are going to get the curriculums from the school with all the resources for me. Obviously, it's going to cost a little bit more money, but I believe that it's going to be more helpful, more structured, and that my kids are going to be able to learn more. So, that being said, I hope my experience can help you decide if you want to homeschool or keep homeschooling, or that if it has been something you've been doubting about or thinking about, that you can actually make a decision. I would highly recommend you to homeschool your kids if you can, and that you have the desire. It obviously takes a lot of your time and energy at the beginning, but once you make it work, it all comes with ease. If you have any specific questions or things that I didn't go through about our first year of homeschooling, please leave it on the comments and I'll gladly answer all of your questions. And make sure to subscribe to my channel, as I'll be sharing more content on homeschooling, and I'll also be sharing the must-haves of homeschooling. So make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And thank you for watching and for joining me today. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.